The wave first.
We go 3 here. Go here, go here.
Looks like
just get it.
they're walking back to mid. Yeah. He's gonna go bot crop. Yeah.
Fight the bot.
Yeah, just go smash.
Camille's kind of low
Good hit,
top,
good
by the way.
We can do something top.
I feel like
Diana's
he's
gonna cross the bot crop.
Combo soon.
Yeah.
Camille's gonna ward
I
try.
got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Camille's warding try.
It's okay, I'll come to the wall.
Yo,
Bro.
can we kill Sky or no?
I want
Diana's bot crop. Diana's bot
Okay,
crop.
we're back in our
Draw me mid,
draw me mid. I'll start mid, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna base here.
Yeah, you can base.
Killing
Suck.
Sock.
We suck hand here. Yeah. Nice job.
Nice.
Pain no flash. Pain no flash.
Yo, can we kill the Kali? No ult. I have to leave.
Kane.
I'm coming to you.
Oh, I can't get him.
I got Kane's dead. Kane's dead.
I got you, I
I'm
got
on
you.
Kali.
Yeah, chasing slow, chasing slow.
Oh, Kali.
Got 3, I got 3. Let's go. Can we go here? Can we go here?
Yeah.
I look at W for
Camille
you.
TV behind. Camille TV below, okay?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let me mark, let me
TK
mark.
is no flash. I have to combo this guy. I have to combo this guy.
Where's down? Come here,
Come
Yeah,
here.
go Camille, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Go Camille.
I-
Back,
I-
back,
Combo
back,
soon, I'm
back,
combo
back,
soon.
back.
We gotta go here, we gotta go here.
I look at Silver.
I'm gonna flash
Look
on
in front.
Silver maybe,
Yeah,
okay?
okay, look on front.
He used Eat on me.
Hey,
I'm
go,
gonna
go,
go.
Look at W.
I stun.
Nice.
Go. All
Take
you
it
guys.
slow, take it slow.
Come back. Watch the W, you
Okay,
guys.
okay,
Turn.
I have no spells. No
Take your
spells.
time, take your time.
This slow.
Yeah.
I can just ulti. Maybe we just go.
Look at Ali. Get his ult.
Yeah, it's kinda
I
deep,
can ult
it's
him.
kinda
I can ult him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm far, by the way. I'm
After
far.
kite.
I'm getting mid, by the way.
Yeah, kite.
He's dead.
Nice.
Okay. Play for end. Play
Oh,
off
he
the
almost
waves. Play off the waves.
Yep.
Watch Kane.
Kane.
I have stopwatch.
You're fine.
Yeah. Just mark me.
Yo, can you guys help me, maybe? Kali.
Oh, I'm dead.
Kane's
That
dead.
is really balanced.
Oh.
Kali.
Kali's dead.
Alright. Okay, it's 2. I think you guys can hit still. You have
Yeah,
8
we-
and Alistar.
Yep. I'm just going it. You okay?
Oh,
Yo, Alistar's up
Where's
in
the
3. Alistar has
I can
tower.
TP back.
Alistar's up in 1. I have TP in 30 if we...
No, we can stay, guys. Just
Okay,
wait
okay.
for the TP. We can stay. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going in 6 now. Yeah, I'm going in 6 now.
Zig.
hit church too.
No,
Zig is dead,
Zig's
Zig's
dead, I
dead.
think. Oh, it's on you.
Double Zig.
Help Ethan. Okay, we can end.
Good shit, guys.
Alright, good shit.
Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk. Tough loss there for Dignitas QNTMPAY, but as we look ahead towards her game today, we need to share a little update with y'all at home. Last night, Immortals reported that due to the team's potential exposure to individuals who tested positive for COVID-19, the team will be quarantining and playing out Week 8 remotely to make sure everyone stays safe and healthy. And to keep everything fair and square, all of IMT's opponents this week have been given the option to play out their games remotely as well. But either way, IMT have just locked their place in top 8 and playoffs. Claps around to them after that GG lost. And today,
No claps? What are your feelings on this?
Locking in because somebody else loses never feels good. But the good news for IMT is that they actually are still fighting for a much better seed inside the playoff bracket, because locking in top 8 just means you get to play. Locking in 6th would allow you to not start in the lower bracket, having another chance if you lose. And better than that is that you're actually fighting for Dignitas for that spot.
yes, facing off against the very team that holds that top 6 position. And I think IMT are definitely hungry to try and take that spot.
Yeah, I just got absolutely hype. I thought that we were going to be super front-loaded. All the games this morning would be great, and then it would kind of teeter off back here. But now this game, just like the stakes have been raised, and now I'm ready to see the jungle matchup really throw down.
Yeah, agreed.
yeah.
And I think the jungle matches is the right thing to look at. You know, Acadian had came into the team, and he's become, I think, the fulcrum for Dignitas. Right? Everyone remembers the Blue Kane game. It was absolutely insane. But last time these teams met, what we saw is Acadian trying to be aggressive as he usually is, but Xerxes having his number and having a really nice counter gank that pretty much set the game off in a completely different trajectory. And I expect in this matchup, they're going to be paying a lot of attention to where junglers are going to be acting first on the map.
I think it's interesting that Acadian is now the focal point for Dig, just as Dardoch was when the lineup was in there. Another fun thing is that Dardoch is coaching IMT now, so there's a little spice in there. But why is it that when Dardoch is playing, it's about Dardoch, when Acadian is playing, it's about Acadian now? And I think the reason being is that the laners are not that strong. It's not the strong suit of the top side of Dig or their mid lane or Yusui. So what do they rely on? They need their jungler to find ganks, to be able to essentially win the lanes and assist with crashing the waves and protecting dives so that they can shine. And as a result, the jungler is much more involved than in other situations. So Dignitas need Acadian to be active early or just pop off with another carry game like the Kane. But that is so unlikely.
Which is why on the other side of this matchup with Xerxes, I have a lot of concerns for Dignitas, and I think that this will be a very easy cleanup for Xerxes. Although I actually think that Immortals are in a similar vein as Dig, where the laners aren't necessarily the strongest, so you're really reliant on your jungler creating a lead. I think Xerxes, big brain. Like coming over in Europe, he was always a very creative jungle, and right now is the perfect meta for him. He's the best Rumble player that they have in the jungle in LCS. He performs very well on AP champions, so the Diana is also fitting very much into that wheelhouse. But Immortals play like this, like Xerxes, big brains jungle, he creates a natural lead, and then Immortals can kind of slowly roll over teammates with the lead that he's created in the jungle. If it's 50-50 even, if Xerxes doesn't get a high impact champion, if he doesn't create that lead, I just don't think that Immortals pound for pound talent-wise can really go toe-to-toe with a lot of teams.
And we'll be looking at that jungle position to see who pulls ahead. But I want to know, between IMT and Dig, both facing off to try and secure that top 6 within playoffs, who's going to take it today?
I think it's IMT for many of the reasons Frost said. I think at the end of the day, this is a team that has much more of a clear identity for how they like to play. They usually like to play a lot of like melee solo laners and try to play as aggressively as possible and try to snowball advantages. And I think they just look more cohesive, generally speaking. Whereas when I see Dignitas win, it's usually off of a huge pop-off performance from an individual on the team, and it's usually a Cadian. And I think it's much easier to neutralize the risk of that happening if you know that that's a team play style.
And I think I know which way you're going to go based on what you just said, Frost.
Yeah, I have to stay true to my LCS brothers and Xerxes and Coach Andre behind them, now Coach Dardock obviously assisting with them. I just think that Immortals, I actually think, are a very smart team, and I think that they can compete with the upper echelons, which is why they've taken some games off of higher up teams. The issue is the consistency of the individual laner's ability, not the macro performance. They're actually quite an intelligent team.
Crumbs.
So I actually think that IMT looked better at the start of the split. They did start 0-3, had those 3-0 weeks. They looked really cohesive. I think the Rumble was really helpful.
I think they had a meta read advantage
exactly.
for a while.
And now, Rumble's no longer meta. Diana can work, but I'm seeing a lot more faltering on the side of IMT, especially when it comes to individual mechanics in team fights. So many team fights have been lost or just simply not won because these members were not playing well. I remember so many times, like even Insanity on the Tristan, not flashing Orianna Shockwave in top, which could have changed the game against Team Liquid. And these mistakes will be punished by Dig, whose team fighting is still a strength. So I think that Dignitas will take this matchup against IMT and will probably shut IMT out of the top 6 conversation.
Ooh, Crumbs really putting the faith behind Dig, really falling behind Acadian in recent games. I want to get this question answered between Dignitas and Immortals. Who deserves to be in the top 6 of playoffs? Freak and Raz, why don't you help us answer it?
Thank you, the Tigress. We are here to answer that question. Don't mind the game itself. Just our brains together will answer who deserves the spot. Dignitas?
Don't mind
Immortals?
Don't mind Dignitas being on stage. You know, we're gonna answer that for you.
Yeah,
that's our decision.
There are many players behind me as I have hair on my head. I think that's the match here, so that's gonna work out pretty well. As mentioned, Dignitas had the option of playing from home, and I was pretty sure. I think you were as well. Like, they were probably going to come in, though. I feel like it's just like you feel different playing up on stage. Your energy's a bit better, and indeed they are here.
In general, speaking to the players both in EU and in North America, it's much better being on stage. You learn, of course, like having that stage vibe. It is difficult to feel that, especially with the newer players in Fake God, Yusui. You definitely want them to have more stage time. And as you said, the morning routine being added of getting in here is much better than waking up. I mean, it's not going to be as bad as that, right?
Yeah.
For Immortal size, but it's definitely an advantage.
No, I will say it's a lot of fun as a caster as well, being here instead of like yelling and my dog's barking, because like, who is it? Why is there loud noises? I want to be involved too. And it's like, oh, you're just annoying everyone else. Okay, fair enough.
I feel like the people out there would enjoy more doges in the cast.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, there's not any. So we're moving on. We got a draft ahead of us here. 19-20 for Dignitas, 17-22 for Immortals. So 2 games apart. And I want to point out, Dignitas own the head-to-head. They're already 3-1 up on Immortals across the season. So we're just have to leapfrog them entirely. Not just win this, not just go +1 again, but get all the way above them in the standings to take that number 6 spot. Top 5 already locked.
Yeah. So definitely need Immortals to just Hulk out for the rest of the the 6 games, I suppose, that we have here. And a lot of it comes down, as we'll see if they go in the same direction in the draft. They have a higher priority on Ziggs than any other team, and being a scaling composition, even kind of going towards Crumb's sentiment. In the beginning of the split, they were a more aggressive team, took skirmishes pretty consistently around Xerxes. You know, speedrun it to now where they're playing a more scaling identity. That's fine. You just don't have to concede everything in kind of that goal towards it. So I'm fine with IMT still wanting to pick towards scaling. Let's see if that's going to be the pickup as Dig went towards the Gwen.
Alrighty, well, Gwen going to be taken, definitely flexible. Callista has been highly prized. I personally still favor the Aphelios, but Callista definitely a strong one here as well. I want to see what they pick up alongside that. Jungle bans. We see Xin Zhao pretty much 100%.
Yeah.
Viego, though we've seen him really only in lanes today, still I would put him as a slightly better jungler overall. Do want to see him there pretty frequently. Diana is up and pickable here.
I expect the Diana. Also with the Aurelia being banned, you can play something. I know the Lucian was banned, but something that still gives you, like AD in the mid lane. I was thinking Tristan. It doesn't have to be, but Volibear, actually.
Okay.
So IMT already coming out with a pretty aggressive team fight-centric composition, much different than what we've seen in the previous weeks.
Yeah. I do believe Revenge is one of the players to happily play Volibear top and just take the fighter matchup up there. In general, melee fighters beat Gwen for the first few levels and for the first few items. So if you get some early top priority, use that to snowball the rest of the game. That can feel pretty good. Eventually, Gwen does scale really, really, really well. That can get tough, but we get the easy Ezreal locked in now for Neo. Gonna take the safe option down there because they want to give priority to the top side of the map and let the Leona roam elsewhere for Alpha Moon.
All right, now that we know what the support pick is, you can probably just see IMT go towards a Thresh is an option. Thresh not only just good in towards the Leona, but also Thresh Callista. Fantastic for IMT. And forget to mention it, but Thresh is Callista is a great takeaway from what Dignitas has been so successful on throughout the year. Yeah. Neo and Aframu going towards it. LeBlanc is going to be picked instead here, so Dignitas has the opportunity to start banning out supports.
And to keep the Volibear up as a flex as well, right? I kind of like how this draft positioned them because, of course, Volibear LeBlanc can really attack a mid lane and get some kills there. Volibear lands a stun, the chains are pretty much free, and even through flash, you're probably still landing that kill, so you just kind of get it once the first spell lands. And it's like, yeah, cool. We can start banning good junglers because we'll just take this, whatever.
Yeah, banning the Lee Sin, as you already said, it seems like they're kind of directing it to be more of a Volibear mid lane, because you generally want to have Lee Sin in your rank if you're going Lee Sin LeBlanc, something like that, right? But as you said, they don't want to show their hand too early. But what they have shown is the identity of their composition. Being dive-centric on Volibear Callista, having LeBlanc being such a damn good early mid-game champion, in the sense of what your composition is trying to do. So definitely much different from what it has been in the past. A ban on the Gnar, though, usually is an indicator of something of a weak side matchup top side.
Yeah. Which is interesting because they can pick top lane last for sure.
Yes.
Right? I think you always grab support on 4 because you know you're against as Leona.
Yeah.
You just grab one, no problem. Unless there's like a blind they really, really want that's weak to it's weak to a Gnar, which seems unlikely, but I guess it's possible. Either way, the Gnar ban also says they don't think that Gwen is necessarily top lane. Right? Even though she's there most likely, they're like, well, but she could be flexible, and Gnar would hurt us here, so screw it. No blind Gnar for you. Really, really make sure you keep that Gwen up there, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. Perhaps they know something about the mid lane matchup versus LeBlanc. I haven't seen a Gwen versus LeBlanc matchup if they think that Yusui is willing to pick it. And as I've said in the past, Yusui has a large champion pool that he's willing to go towards. At times not successful. He's played the Ezreal multiple times, once in Academy and once here. In the LCS, both losses. And another one is the Kassadin that he was inching towards a victory. But so they can still double down on that level of creativity. It's going to be a silence for him, though.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Sila's going to be the likely mid lane matchup here. You know you're against LeBlanc in that lane. She's not getting flexed around in any way. You know Rakan's down to support. So now lock in your jungle top flex. We know Acadian can play the Gwen jungle sometimes. Have seen it. But what's it going to be for real? You're not sure where the Volibear is. That's remained the top jungle flex there as well. And okay, Kayn jungle is still back. Gwen top, which was the expectation, but it wasn't a guarantee the entire time. And now Immortals can make the final determination. Do we like the Volibear gank here in the mid lane, or do we like Volibear Gwen and we're going to go somewhere else?
Because I wasn't too convinced that it was going to be another Kayn game from Acadian here. Seeing that you're going into a composition that can easily lock you down with the Callista, a LeBlanc, and Volibear, but he's still going to go towards it. If he has prio in one of his lanes, I'm seeing it perhaps being more of a mid lane focus, then yes. It's going to be a Camille lock-in though, so it is for sure going to be the Volibear in the jungle. And I really like IMT's comp. I think IMT comps round out really easy in the mid game. They can play around bot side really early on while knowing that Camille is going to, you know, not only provide strong team fight later on, but you can play pretty aggressively for the matchup. Volibear is going to set up both of these solo laners really well.
Question becomes eventually, though, what the team fight looks like. I agree with you on setup, right?
Yes.
These lanes are so gankable. Everyone's got CC to follow up or in some cases start it. So cool. Xerxes, where do you want to be? Cool, we're going to kill him. That's going to be fine. Leona, not a bad target. Gwen often doesn't run flash, not a bad target. Probably get the Silas. Cool, all these lanes look good. I do question the front line somewhat because none of you are raw tanks. Volibear from a jungle income, especially a Volibear jungle, like doesn't take tons of farm.
Yeah.
He's going to be Divine Sundra into Randuin's at like the end of the game. Like that's his full build. He's done.
Yeah.
Obviously, Camille's building full damage. Rakan's support. He's never getting that much done. So you can burn through those. On the other side, Gwen's going to chop him up. Ezreal's going to get some really high damage for Mystic Shot. So that is the one concern on the side.
Very true. And also, trying to figure out, what did you call it? It was like the purple build from Kayn that we've seen.
Yeah,
where you
purple
just
Kayn.
where you essentially you will go blue Kayn, but it doesn't matter because you're a lot more tankier, more of a bruiser.
Yeah.
And so like we still need to see if that later on in the game, if he's in an even state. If he's in an even state, then yeah, I mean, he's just going to make life insanely hard for the Kalista. So that's always going to be on the table. I think it's going to be on, it's definitely going to be on Immortals to try and punish him early. Silas, while great at scrapping, does not have the help from Kayn or really much across, you know, his laners. So it should be an advantage for IMT really early on.
All right, looking at the early Immortals advantage, and then seeing where it pans out from there. As Immortals are playing remotely, we are going to take some time. You can see the timer up there.
There it is.
To build a delay for competitive integrity. So, you know, basically, the game is playing out. The broadcast is going to be taking the game on a tape delay, basically. But we will be getting into the action just as soon as we can. In the meantime, Raz, I know you talked about the draft already. I'm going to re-hit the stakes here, which is the fact that there is one upper bracket spot left in playoffs, right? From TL upwards, those 5 teams are upper bracket. They're fighting for top 2. Okay, great. That's exciting. That's a playoff bye. There is one spot left at 6th. Right now, Dignitas own it. Right now, they are 2 games above Immortals, and right now, and they will continue to hold the head-to-head over Immortals. So Immortals got to make up 3 to take that spot from them.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay.
Because I think Dignitas, while I was concerned middle of the split that team was going to falter with the changes that they made. With Dardoch leaving, of course, going on towards Immortals, so this is going to be an enticing matchup for that reason as their assistant coach. You know, that change, also the change that we all, I feel like, objected to with Saligo going out into the academy team, Yusui being brought up. But this team really stabilized. And even though they've been kind of on and off throughout the week, it feels like they have made you know, strong changes if they're not insanely behind in the early game. Just that asterisk. Every team says it, but if they don't end up falling far behind in one aspect or another, I think Acadian has been a really shining star on this team so far. And Afromu has been working really well on the bot side. So, like, they have a pretty great jungle and support. That has been getting them wins throughout the weeks.
For sure. I mean, week over week, Dignitas have at worst gone 1 and 2.
Yes.
Right. And some of those wins are against like TSM. Yeah, some of them are against CLG, sure, whatever. But like they've managed to pick up impressive wins as well. So you're right. Like they have to somehow go 0-6 against a 3-3 Immortals, or 1-5 against a 4-2 Immortals.
Yeah.
Over the last 6 games of the season. And yeah, it feels like, well, they're getting 1 every single time. So 2 and 4 is probably the worst they're going to look in the last 6. And yeah, it seems very, very likely they do hold that spot.
Yeah, and it kind of heavily depends on if IMT is veering direction towards now pretty much an early mid-game focus. If, the scrims that they have been really good. If that focus, they're able to mimic what they've been doing for the first few weeks in summer, then that changes things. But it is still an uphill climb here for that team. Nearing down that 15-second mark now for the game to start. So it's going to be ownership on IMT at least to kind of go back to what they were so damn good at early.
Yeah. I mean, I think Xerxes had been incredibly impressive. He's still like one of the player of the game, like count leaders from how much he was crushing in the very, very early parts of the season, right? Had, I think, player of the week in week 2. He was really good. We heard Frosk talk about it on the analyst desk. They had a really good meta read early on, right? Xerxes already was a good Rumble jungle player. So when they're, everyone's rushing to grab the champion, he's actually good at it. So he's actually doing well in the champion.
Yeah.
His Imperial Mandate Gragas was actually really impressive as well. He's actually been good at these champions that fall off, right? Because these are all champions, Rumble included, that like they can be quite good for the first 8, 10 levels.
Yes.
But then you've got to hand it off to everyone else, and he's been good at doing that, handing it off to Insanity, who has incredible damage numbers, against Raze, who's I think had really good team fighting. Raze, Revenge in his rookie year, when given a lead, he's been really good at pushing that ahead as well. So see if that early pressure that we expect Immortals to have from comp. Ooh, and this is exciting.
This is an interesting
He doesn't know.
Yeah, so he's gonna, this should be a flash.
Oh, and it might just be him dead. This is such a sick level 1. Yeah. That is absolute round of applause. That is beautiful. That is Acadian, and that is Fake God jumping over the wall. It's like, all right. You're just going to get run down.
Good. Yeah, I mean, you run through so many games where the jungler is going to be in that exact same location. Not necessarily going to be checking that bush, but even if he doesn't, he's going to get burned for it. So great job. They didn't lose any. They lost an Ignite, but really they didn't lose any significant summoners like a Flash. Sure, same could be said for Xerxes, but now that kill going over to Yasui is going to be pretty damn nice.
Alrighty, so Immortals are heading towards their red buff, and that's where they're going to start their jungle camps. If you are out and about, though, and you want to stay plugged into all the LCS action, check out League Day's audio cast of all the games on leagueday.live. In case you can't go for the visual element, you can get tailor-made audio for the fact that it's going to be audio only. Acadian going to get his red buff no problem, doing standard full clear stuff. Goes for the E over the wall and gonna spam his Qs and get the Krug. So no problems down there. Volibear also going for a full clear. Xerxes red into Krugs means he's probably going for all 6 camps.
Yeah, and they know that. So at least for Dignitas, I think Acadian's going to be happy knowing that he's going to be full clearing topside pretty safely. Also, Fake God has good information that he's not going to be contested at all. Volibear should be going, Krugs to bot side. So it should be a pretty slow game, but it does benefit Dignitas quite a bit.
As the dashes come across, we've got a little bit of mid lane pressure. Insanity going to be at 7 out of 12 CS. Not ideal, but see if we get to deny some. A stun's going to come in. Yeah, level 2 spike feels really good. Is this the kill? 100 HP left. Could not follow through anymore, but that is a nice usage of that level 2 power spike in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's rough. I feel like that's why people have been going towards Rakan alongside the Kalista far more frequently these days. It's so damn punishing the moment Rakan's able to get that knock-up. Raze goes straight for a damn good chunk, and now that's going to be a lot of potions being chunked through from Afro move.
Yep. And that zombie ward's going to be really helpful as well. Like, in case Kane was going for a cheeky play where he's somehow doing 3 camps in a bot lane, that is vision. That is going to make sure they're going to feel really safe about any bot lane pressure. Obviously, early sweeper for Destiny. That's kind of how you help make that feel good, as now the top laners are fighting. Revenge doesn't get to shield very much of it as Fake God pushes them in.
Focus now is going to be Volibear looking for a bot lane dive. Might have TP here from either Insanity or Revenge. Let's see if it's even necessary. This should actually be a clean 3-3-2.
Oh, Neo's already got spears on him as well. This could be pretty easy. Early heal comes across, but they're going to go for the dive. There's a stun, there's the follow-through, and it's a kill already in the bottom lane. It's not quite first blood, but it's still money in the pockets.
Yeah, there we go. Denied this wave, should be denied the next as well. I think the solo laners for Dignitas did a great job. Oh.
Yeah, flash, backflip, one more hit, and Revenge got the bigger scissors. They're on his legs.
Man, just as I was about to give credit to Fake God and Yasui for tracking their lane opponents so they don't get a TP towards bot side, that happens, and that's rough. Great job for Revenge to get a punish on Fake God. It's not been good times for Fake God these past few games.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's true. He got solo killed by impact as well.
Yeah. Take a look at this. A great knock up there. So, yeah, and I get to see the context here. Fake God wants to get his wave pushed in. I mean, the wave is pushing against him. He actually should be fine. But, yeah, easy pick up here for Revenge.
Went off of a normal CS, right? Low health melee minion. Okay, it's enough for me.
Yeah.
Fake God, obviously, his Ignite wasn't going to do anything. So he's running Flash on the Camille, and he's like, yeah, that's going to be enough for me. I'll run this one, and I get the chase down. He knows he has the damage, and he's right.
Yeah, there's no desperation there for Fake God because the wave is coming into him, even though it's going to be a slow push. So,
yeah.
So, tough times up here, but overall, I think a larger advantage is still, oh well.
You see the way this lane is kind of playing out, right? Fake God goes for auto attacks, goes for Qs, and usually it's an E backwards to dodge a leg sweep, or make sure he's out of range of Q2 in case that was going to happen. And you know, the farm is obviously not bad, right? Fake God's actually going to be up around 5 or so as the wave is thinned out, but obviously Revenge played it really, really well to get that kill. Got ourselves another pause real quick.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Taking a step back, I mean, how good was that for IMT? Not only getting a good chunk on towards Leona, you could tell the bot lane ended up calling for help on, I mean, not help, but like knew that it was a dive opportunity.
Yeah.
And then Revenge finding form once again and being able to get that solo kill. So overall, I mean, it seems like it's early split Immortals again. Maybe too soon to say that, but it's
a
looking
great
like
look.
that.
It's a great look at the very least, right?
Yeah.
It's you won top lane by itself. You could like asterisk and be like, well, you know, she was Ignite down, so like maybe there's like a level 2 fight that like could have gone differently, you know, if that was up or whatever. But like she gets the free stack on any of like, you know, her Legend or Hunter runes in case that was something that she was running.
Yeah.
You know, inside of the map, it's like, okay, cool, yeah, no big deal. Our bot lane just straight up won the 2-on-2 to get lane control. They got a good, like, that first good trade on Afro is pretty useful. He can't step up as much and fight for the wave as often now because he's out of potions, and then just, yeah, path the Bull Bear down. It's the really obvious pathing. You gotta be started red. He's going top to bot. Hey, he's here on time for the play.
Worst thing too is that that's something that's pretty repeatable.
Yeah.
TPs being still held from laners. But also just like the pathing from your jungle Volibear is going to still be towards that center. Even if if it doesn't look into a dive, they want to play it a lot more of a slow game. That's just dragon stacking now for IMT. So a lot of recouping there for Dignitas, how they want to play it out. You know, they really don't have many tools towards their bot side. Ezreal, Leona, sure. But like,
yeah,
Ezreal is now insanely far behind. So there's not much he can really help his team out.
No, it doesn't feel like you're winning those fights anymore. The all-in power is just kind of not there. Like, even if Leon lands the stun, it's like, well, Cliff's going to have shield bow, and Ezreal's chase is just not good, right? Like, you burn the cooldowns once, and it's like, well, until level 6, there's just no follow-up. So, yeah, it feels like Immortals can feel really safe down there. I don't think they burned any incredibly important escape summoners. I think no one flashed to make that kill happen, for example. Yeah, they ignited and healed, I think, but like that's enough to where you're still not afraid of dying to Ezreal. That's why people don't play towards Ezreal lanes, right? The entire point was, you know, based in the draft that, okay, Dignitas, Leona can roam out, Ezreal can 1v2 for the most part, or at least some, like better than anyone else can. It's why they picked Ezreal on 2-3. It's like, yeah, we're going to go make sure our Gwen can win her lane. Well, we passed our jungler towards top, and our Gwen still got solo killed.
Yep.
You passed the jungler towards bot, and our Ezreal lane died. It's like, well,
rough.
Neither was supposed to happen.
It was a nightmare
Neither of those.
scenario for Katie in there. He's like, what's happening? Their level 1 was so good too that, you know, you get that dopamine rush. It's like, this game's looking pretty easy, guys. I got my full clear. We know exactly where the jungle is pathing, and we die anyways.
Yeah.
So, hate to see it. It's always, it kind of reminds me of like, when you're going through scrims and you're like, we know exactly how to deal with Kalista, specifically if you want to play Aphelios or Ashe or all these things. You have a comp dedicated to dealing with her, but then she just gets a level 2 all in and, you know, either kills your bot lane or puts her in a dive range, and that's something that's so repeatable. So you just have to play respectfully around it. It didn't happen here.
For sure. So curious what the potential bug investigation is. I know, actually, I can probably like investigate myself because I'm sure it's going to be posted in like the channels.
Oh, there we go.
What do you think it was? So I know we have producers who will tell us about it, but I'm actually just curious myself.
Let's see if you can get there faster than they can.
I don't have it. No one's posted it.
Damn.
So I got nothing. Oh, wait, hang on. We can look somewhere else.
The investigation continues.
Ah, okay. Interesting. So
is it juicy?
I mean, I have to be told like what I'm allowed to say on there, right?
Fair.
I now know what it is.
Oh no, you're gonna be.
I can tell you it was revenge.
Oh,
that's all I got. All right.
Okay. All right. Man got the solo kill top side, saying there's a bug.
No, he's the one who got the solo kill.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean, right?
Oh yeah. He
So
he killed, and it's like, oh okay.
Okay. Well, fine. You can be like that, revenge.
Fair enough. Well, yeah. We'll wait to see. So that'll be, you know, looking back at the game. Of course, it's going to be hard to investigate because like that's a team playing from home. Like when they're playing up here, the stuff's all recorded, and we just like, oh, okay, we can watch this back from your point of view. What did you do? Oh, that isn't what you clicked on. Oh, that's weird, right? Or, you know, contrapositively, it's like, oh no, you actually totally just like did this wrong.
One of those things that might be difficult to remember actually for these teams, because I remember when I was on Golden Guardians Academy, you know, if you're playing from online, you're used to it. You're used to the point of just always recording your games, because the only times in which you could do something about a bug is if you were recording games, because there's proof behind it.
Right. Yeah.
This is the first time they're going back home in some time.
Sure.
So you guys better record your games. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine that's maybe done for volume purposes, but yeah, I really don't know for certain.
Yeah.
So we will just wait. I will give you more information as I am told it. Otherwise, we're just going to chill here and fill some time with the fact that Immortals are looking good as they try to make that push towards 6th.
And taking a step back, I mean, overall, just talking about Dignitas, the one thing that I am concerned about, because I know the desk talked about it, at least from the viewpoint of Immortals, right? About having star players, at least players that are individually strong that can like punch above, you know, their belt in a sense when they're going up against the better teams. Same thing you can say exactly for Dignitas. We're sure Neo and Aphromu as a lane, as a 2v2, have been doing a damn good job, at least in the spring split. Inconsistent, I would say, in the summer split, to say the least. But then, of course, the problem for me has always been in the solo lanes. Fake God could have great performances in spring, but mostly in summer has been faltering. So
yeah, there's been some real standout, like rough ones, right?
And so that's what I'm always looking towards when it comes to a Dig performance. Because when I say don't get behind for the first 10 minutes, that's the onus not on any team play. That's on individuals to just say, okay, if my jungler's not here, I don't need to be doing much. You know, unless you know, there's always different situations, but it feels like they misplay more often than not. So
yeah,
that's what sucks. But you know, they're in a pretty good position to learn. I mean, people like players like Fake God's been here for the full year now. So, and also has a good cushion in summer split, being able to piggyback off of what their record was in spring.
Yeah, for sure.
So they do have like a game or two that they can take lessons from and kind of work on before playoffs start.
Yeah, then the difficulty is going to be, okay, well, you know, assuming you know, hold on to 6th, you're playing number 3 seeds. So, hey, good luck first round against TSM or EG or whomever. Like, those are all tough best of 5s. You know, Dignitas exited really early last time in playoffs. You know, you know, assuming they learn, okay, great, right? Then you're in there and you can do what you want. You know, assuming they lose that one, okay, you play a lower bracket matchup, you're going to play a FlyQuest or an Immortal or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that one going to look a bit better. Yeah, probably, right? Like this could easily be, this game is a preview of the second round of playoffs, right? Could easily just be what happens is, you know, this team gets you know, one of the teams drops down and they just play each other again and then off you go. You know, something like this certainly is a possibility for the squads. Either way, we have an update to provide. League Ops have concluded that it appears I'm guessing there was a bug because I was told to toss an analyst in a second. Have concluded investigation determined that a chrono break is indeed required. So, as you get ready to initiate that chrono break, we're going to send it over to the analyst desk to fill some more time and talk about this game a little bit longer.
Wait, Frosk isn't here yet.
Okay. I was told, though, that Frosk isn't here yet.
Okay, fair.
As I don't know
call Frosk.
Have y'all at home heard it, but that's what Kaizen said. So,
okay. That's
Raz,
completely understandable.
we got some more words to say.
Oh my goodness! So Chrono Break, I wonder what it is, because teams in this position, when you already have that huge, you know, play bot side, solo kill top, you're fine. Even if like the bug was confirmed, that you do want to still play through it, but it seems like it was a significant enough one, and also it was in a dead ball state, so they don't lose anything, I would imagine.
Well, actually, worth realizing, I just realized that we're on a 3-minute tape delay. So
true.
That pause happened in real time.
Yeah.
So sometime 3 minutes from now that you will never see, by the way.
No.
Or will I? Basically, I'm just gonna say it because it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Revenge went for a hook shot and then like tried to like hook shot backwards. Like, I'm out. No, I don't want this fight.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, my character went in, but I clicked behind me. Despite the fact that that's not where I clicked. So apparently that really happened to him.
These pesky walls have been getting our players in the LCS,
so
one after another.
Just to know, right? Once we get into the game, and it's a good reference, once we get into the game, you know, just like think about 2.5 minutes from now, you know, 250, like, oh, you know, like when if like Revenge is in danger, imagine the alternate reality where he just like dives right back in. So stay tuned for that one.
He needs to give us the detail, or someone needs to release the footage after it's all said and done. I need to know. That's pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
But it feels like that's just been the case. Something's happening with these walls out here. Not only is it hurting Jensen when he was on that Azir a little earlier on.
Yeah.
But yeah, now Revenge is fall a victim to it.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's okay. That's what Chrono Break is for.
True.
So, you know, just go back in time. Obviously, it does take a few minutes to do so, which is why we are filling time for this one. Basically, the game engine runs through all the clicks, runs through all the server ticks, and it gets you back there. You have to pick a time to pause up to, and then, okay, to get to go back in. Everything's fine. So, you know, once that's all ready, of course, you know, we'll resume the broadcast from the 2-0 state. Everything, you know, up until that point is also going to be played as is. It's just like held as tape delay. Like, that'll still get played out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we you know, somewhere around real time, like they're pretty soon going to be loading their Chrono Break. And then once we're pretty happy that like, okay, this is going to be that delay, right? We get to play our old footage. We then hop over to the new Chrono Break stuff and off we go, you know, still going to be just fine. So as you can see, Chrono Break started. not too long away.
Now they're just chilling out. And I will say, I know I feel like I'm beating this.
That's okay.
Horse, but specifically IMT, this is the style I like to see them play. You know, because when they were playing more scaling focused, the Ziggs, which I do think is a great pick, playing more scaling picks like this, if you want to throw in a trundle and just be more of a poke composition, things like that, completely fine. But I always felt as though that they didn't properly assess like what they can and can't give away. That there would be times where they're just giving away jungle camps that they could still fight for. And that was pretty prevalent versus their game versus CLG. So games like that, you take big lessons from. And it seems like the lesson that they had was like, we just don't want to play this style. They can still hold it as a back pocket. I mean, when they get into a best of 5, I'm sure they would have more games underneath them.
Sure.
But if this has been something that's been working with them, you know, for them, just in scrims and also in earlier portions of the split, it's a nice look at IMT, where now if you're an analyst, like people on the desk or people on, you know, a fan of IMT or anything, you don't really know what this team is anymore. You cast yourself back for just the last week and say this is how poorly they played, but it's just a completely different look, and we should assess how they play based off this.
All right, well, good for Immortals to at least try a bunch of different styles. If they don't like something, okay, you can go back. The early game seems to work, and they are on it here with a good early game. Now for realsies, we are going to toss it to the State Farm analyst desk as they chat about this game as we get the Chrono Break underway.
Yeah, for realsies this time. We're back on the analyst desk. We got the whole gang here. Frost, we invited you to the LCS, and we had to throw a Chrono Break at you. You know, just how it goes.
I mean, I come from the League of Legends Pause League, so this is nothing new to me. I do have to admit, guys, I really had to pee. I'm really sorry. I had to pee really bad. I was in the bathroom. I come back, there's a pause. I haven't seen any of this game.
You have to get rid of the urine.
I did. That's what it was.
So she's just Frosk.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And the thing is like the clips to your pants, so it takes a really long time to get unbuckled from it. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole entire thing. I've had people walk in and I'm like doing the whole get up and everything, feeling like a transformer in there. So
so this is the first time I've actually seen the draft, and I want you to tell me what the hell happened.
Okay.
So here's what Dash and I were talking about. We thought Destiny was calling that after. He's saying, I think you're trash.
Because he picked the Rakan into the Leona.
Because he picked Rakan into the Leona. Hovered the Nautilus, almost locked it in, last second goes into, so.
We have time. You can go into very detailed specifics about why that is such a burn.
And we were talking about it because he's saying, well, Leona just has to press Q and then Rakan goes in, you can just AWOC Q and then you auto him. But guess what? You didn't even have to AWOC. He taunts you. You just need to put your finger on the keyboard and then you'll automatically stun the Rakan. You could use your face if you'd like.
I probably shouldn't do this.
Destiny might be saying, Afro, we think you're going to mess up the Leona so bad you won't even land this. And guess what? He was right. They dove bot lane. And Leona stunned Volibear before they had turret aggro, so they killed Neo and they got out scot-free.
Wait. He actually got away with it.
Yeah, he got away with it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well, it was a gank, right? So it was a 3v3 dive.
They dove, right? So you know how when the dive happens, you want to wait for them to aggro turret before you stun them. Well, Leona just stunned before turret was aggroed, so they just waited for that, and then they killed Neo.
Yeah.
And got out.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to call my agent.
Yeah.
I need to
just go back to the bathroom.
Yeah, but we had action before that, though. Actually, things kicked off pretty quickly at Kaizen. You know?
Yeah. So there was actually a really nice level 1 from Dignitas. They realized that they have Gwen and Voli who can hop a wall. So they hopped the wall out at a Baron pit, wrapped around the back of Red, and then they caught IMT out for a first blood. And then the first blood immediately got neutralized by the dive bottom. So what hopefully you thought was going to be a good start for Dignitas ended up not being so much of a good start because also Revenge got a solo kill top in the Camille into Gwen matchup.
You missed a lot, Frost.
Yeah, so that's all I have.
I literally said that and you guys, oh, you haven't missed anything. They're investigating a bug. And now I just feel like I've missed a whole...
Here's the thing. This is not going to be an anomaly in this game. This is just a fraction of what's to come. So this early game will not dictate at all what the rest of this game will look like. So those first 3 kills are just a drop in the bucket of what this one's gonna be.
The thing is I love fiestas, and so when I was told that I would get to go to the LCS, I was like very happy about it. I was like, I love clown cars. Like I love going to this. I think this is a really exciting league, and I also really love when bottom tier teams are kind of like the middle of the pack teams fight, because not everything goes according to plan, and then you really get to see who players are, like who's really shooting from the hip and being reactive. So I'm very curious to see how anyone digs themselves out of this hole. And now, do we know what the bug is? Do we get to talk about it?
Yeah, so we have been confirmed that this is in fact a bug. It was initiated after Revenge on the Camille went to hookshot, and it went in the opposite direction.
So it wasn't a hand problem, it was an actual computer problem.
We have that confirmation on that end. So that means that there is a chrono break that is currently in progress to get things back to normal. And, as we said before, IMT is at home at this point. So, adding that level in there.
I also want to go into, what do you consider a fiesta, right?
What do I consider a fiesta?
Yeah, what do you
is it like kill count?
Yeah, is it a kill count thing? Is it just a sloppy game? Because CLG IMT last weekend
was not a fiesta.
That was a really boring party if that's a fiesta, but it was super sloppy, right? But I think usually people think fiesta's like really aggressive, really messy.
I want to color this conversation by saying that fiesta is not the pinnacle of entertainment, because it has to be entertaining, right? That's the thing. You're laughing at, like, oh my God, it's being thrown. Like, I think TSM IMT, where the backdoor happened with Huni, was a bit of a fiesta. But you can go a step further than the fiesta. Quinceañera, right? 15-year-old birthday party. That is an all-out fiesta. Those are rare, but just keep in mind, that is the tier above.
Is that when you were dancing with the rip
That was one of them. That was one of them. That was, mwah.
So we got Quinceañera, Fiesta. Which one's above?
Quinceañera is the top.
Bar
Fiesta
mitzvah?
is right below
Where's
it.
bar mitzvah?
I've never been to one, so I don't know. I don't know what it would be like.
Or baby's first birthday party. It's like,
that one's tame. That one's tame.
No, that could get wild, bro. They're little kids, man. Like little kids, they don't care, man. They're like poop on the walls. They'll be like,
where are you spending your free time?
Dude, I've seen some wild kids.
This is getting weird.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is I feel like it's considered a fiesta when you have like the established win conditions, like you know what the map state is, and suddenly that doesn't matter at all because they're just like, this is how we should win the game. I don't want to do that. I would rather do this thing instead. And then it starts going back and forth. You're like, well, it's a fiesta now. Let's dance. Let's have a party.
I think that's the key. You get carried away by the heat of the moment, right? You just think, I gotta kill this guy, and then you forget, wait, we're supposed to win. So key aspects of fiestas, over chasing for kills. Over chasing for kills. When
tempo means nothing.
Exactly, right? Objectives are right there. You just wipe them, but there's one guy getting away, and you could get a triple, not even a penta or a quad. Just like, there's a triple opportunity
here. There has to be a teleport. There must be at least one teleport clown car where multiple people are coming in on like a single minion or ward. That happens in every fiesta.
I think Captain Flowers has also said at some point that it has to average at least a kill per minute is classification.
That's rather technical.
Yeah, but it's some kind of scale.
Yeah, you have some leeway on that, but I think it's a good benchmark.
I will let it slide.
We have all our qualifications for Fiesta, and the level of Fiesta is baby party at Chuck E. Cheese to quinceañera over on
Child
the top.
temper tantrum party.
Yeah.
All the way up to quinceañera, I guess.
Yeah.
So you guys have seen what's the time in this game? 7 minutes?
We're like 5 minutes.
That was a really short.
It was a dive. It was a level 2 dive in bot lane, right? And it was a level 3 or level 2.
Are we already there? Would you say?
I am getting word though, as far as already being there, that we're already ready to get back in game.
Oh,
so let's go. Bring us back into the action, Freak and Rez.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Gotta say, Frosk's the best, I think, analyst you've ever done.
There we go.
You know, just fly by wire. Just talk about Fiestas. We're ready to go. Dignitas and Immortals.
Easy.
Also ready to go.
Easy. I'm ready to get right into this game because this is a reminder to everybody. The chrono break happened and we didn't get to see it because it's 3 minutes from now.
Yeah.
So.
Don't worry. I now know the context. I will tell you when we're like about at the spot where the stuff screwed up, but obviously we're back in time. Yeah, it's like 7 minutes and change, so it's gonna be a little bit, but the game state we've got is tied game, tied in gold, because guess what? Kane farms better than Volibear, so yeah, you found yourself, you know, a couple of ganks off, that's nice and everything, but Kane's got the gold, and we get to see the top laners fighting yet again.
True, and that means that for Xerxes, actually, 2v2 is possible here. Cadian's looking at him, but he's not going to be able to get anything off of this one. But yeah, Xerxes does need to be able to get his top scams first before he wants to look for Dragon. I think he's done just that. So even though, you know, Cadian's going to be hovering back topside, it makes it so now Dragon is doable. This would be one of the rare moments for him to want to pick it up because there's not much going to be punished from the opposite end.
That control ward is the very, very normal I'm doing Dragon control ward.
Yep.
Guaranteed that you own the walk up to that river. People are running through a lot of fog. Wards aren't going to help that one. It generally precludes the junglers and mid laners from coming through as long as you have remotely some control. Their bot lane's doing okay, so yeah, this one's getting attacked. This one's getting soloed. A little bit of quick help from Destiny, but this thing is going down, and very early on to the game, right? 621. This Dragon's about to die. Nice try here from Destiny. Just jumps back to his squad, and they get the very early first Drake.
Looks like we're positioning for a dive here.
We are post-chrono break already, and there you go.
There it is.
That was the moment. That was the moment right there. He meant to hook shot that way, and this time he did. Before, in the parallel universe, a variant Revenge actually hook shot it backwards, basically.
Yeah, just imagine that. You guys
just kidding. It's a minute from now. But it would have looked like that.
I'm interested in the fact that it happened again. So let's see. Because, I mean, we already know essentially, I think he got away with it. We'll find out. Because
that's true.
Shotting back into the enemy team definitely blows. So in another Marvel universe.
That's right. Well, we're going to marvel at the top lane dives in a little bit because they're coming back for it in about 15 seconds. As the Kayn is maybe going to stop the recall. I don't know. Yeah, he did. Oh, look at that. I knew things.
Okay.
Because we sort of cheated. We knew there was a top lane dive at 729. In the meantime, bot lane's under fire. Ray's going to find himself some damage, and
this is the moment.
This is before the pause, and right now is when it switches over, and Revenge is like, I got to somehow live for this one. Tries to kite around to the sides, burns the ulti, and that's why it was him going back in. Now, maybe he did it on purpose this time around?
Yeah,
this he's like, oh, I'm dead.
There's literally no way for him to get out. So the worst thing is, like, going for another chrono break just for the same situation, knowing the dive's going to happen and still dying to it. It happens.
Yeah, he actually, but it's like, but I chose it on purpose this time.
Yep.
It's like, all right, fair enough.
It was my choice.
Well, a well-played dive all the same, and it means I got to point out Dignitas are back on the board. They got that early first blood, or maybe that was actually the play, right? They're showing us the old version where he wanted out. I kind of agree. I think he was dead anyway, but
let's see what he did.
All right, this is him ulting much earlier now. And he's got to have Fake God leave turret aggro, but now for the real one. Akaden's going to find himself a flash to safety, and Revenge is still alive. Okay, post-chrono break. They're going to go for round 2. Big damage. Kill comes across, and aggro was dodged beautifully.
Yes.
Akaden got it and dropped it, and Fake God walks away with the kill. That was actually sick.
Yeah, just for clarity for everybody that doesn't know, like what we saw prior was pre-chrono break. What we saw now is post-chrono break. So he definitely made it harder for the enemy team, but they still got the job done.
All right, well done on this one. Now we can seen a lot of this in the last several days. A team getting entirely zoned off of an outer turret. This one, that is a whole wave lost by Neo and Afro because the jungler shows up. Yasui now in battle with Insanity, and that boy guessed wrong. Put a lot of extra damage on the fake one, and Insanity walks away with a little bit of a higher health total on that trade.
Yeah, Yasui is going to be out for the better because he has the mana pool here and W coming back off cooldown. So Insanity does have to watch out here, because it's actually Insanity that's in death range. Actually, Revenge now hovering for him, so that's completely fine. Yasui does have TP advantage, so he can always come back and catch the wave, so that's not an issue. But this is a pretty rough game here for Dignitas' bottom lane for the reason you just stated. Because, you know, it's going to be consistent. Bot camps are up for Xerxes, so even when he does that, Dragon's not going to be up, so he can always look for another dive. It's just going to be Dignitas that tries to deal with that in some fashion.
700 gold lead to Dignitas, though. Worth pointing out, they are in the lead. Unless you think the Dragon is worth more than that. I wouldn't, but still a way to think about it, as the first Herald is now under fire as well. Immortals want to claim this one, and it does feel like Xerxes is, you know, crushing in the objective game. But they've both really gotten one gank off post-level 1, and Akaden is still up 2 camps, so he has been quite efficient. Somewhat, you know, what you expect with the Kayn, but as Destiny walks his way over, they grab the Herald, no problem at all, and we'll see when a turret gets hit with it.
Yeah, I almost forgot, like, as you said, the fact that gold there for Dignitas is going to be an Acadian and primarily Fake God. Fake God has a pretty large advantage here, CS experience-wise. And Acadian is just going to continue to play to it, because playing to the opposite side of the map is going to be suicide. There's not much Acadian can actually do pre-form, you know, when he ends up changing form. So it's a good call for him to just continue to farm up. He has a level up on Xerxes. That's perfect. Let's see if he can get something out of it and get Fake God an even larger lead.
Temporarily now 3 camps. Acadian is definitely crushing in the farm categories. Almost, actually, he's got more than the opposing top laner, so yeah, that's looking really good. Poor Revenge, despite getting the solo kill, has now been put quite far behind to the tune of almost 30 CS. As the lane swaps come across, though, Callista and Co would like to get stuff done. Volibear there on the bottom side means they're not going to instantly knock down that top turret. Of course, matched as well by Afro and Neos. They're just kind of trading waves back and forth. Top one is doing similar in the bottom side as we have switched over to the Australian version of League of Legends post-Chrono Break. And Acadian's going to knock down a control ward.
Yeah, even though all this control wards that were placed down from IMT just like 30 seconds ago from bot side, it's nice for them. It's not lasting. Acadian is specifically going to play towards the side of the map because he knows that Fake God is in a stronger position, also just has Sum's advantage. Aggressive Sums has Ignite, so like, should feel more comfortable taking that fight than IMT should be. So let's see where the dual lane of IMT ends up going because they went topside earlier just to get Rift Herald. Now being able to go straight back bottom lane, base should come through from Revenge so you can go topside. And okay, now you should just try and get bot lane turret Rift. It's 3 plates down there. You have Rift Herald. That should be the play here for IMT.
Yeah, it seems pretty reliable. Yeah, you can see the Callista has come back. As you're mentioning, they were swapped up just for the Herald. Now they've claimed it. Now they're ready to go for the second Dragon here. So it's good by Immortals, right? Like their early game was quite good, right? They found a good tower dive. They found that solo kill on top side. And now they're kind of putting people in the right spots to keep playing for these objectives. We expect to see bot lane turret probably killed soon. But first, Dignitas have control, and a hit in the mid lane as well could look good. Second chain going to come across the flash follow, and oh, Yasui went for too much. Xerxes was there, and he's shut down.
Great call from IMT. Yasui was trying to get a quick chunk on Insanity before this play was set up around Dragon, but Xerxes was on the same page, ends up getting the kill. 13-second death timer, and that's going to be second Dragon for IMT.
Yeah, should be no problem at all. Infernal Dragon going to be grabbed. Xerxes is here and without a mid laner. Yasui without teleport. There's really no way you can walk for this one. Acadian could always try for the drive-by. You know, jump in with the E, look for the smite, jump back out with a Q if you really have to, but not going to be contested. Second Dragon comes in. Gold equal. 2 Dragon lead to Immortals, and I'm still waiting to see when that bot lane turret gets cracked.
Still a really good game state before that even happened for IMT. They were just waiting on Raze to get pushed on bot side, and then they can control it from there. They already have Rift Herald. They had everything ready, for that play to be made. Now they're just going to get the turret as well on top of that. Should be split between jungle and Raze, so that's going to be nice.
Yep, and as long as that recall comes in, 6-10. Yep, looks good. Raze is a rich man. That Callista is almost certainly on Mythic. Only the unfortunate thing is there's nothing else to play for. You've got a really fed Callista and nothing to kill.
So if anything, you could probably try and now play towards topside. Fake God has been consistently pressuring this lane, trying to make something as an advantage. Okay.
All right, yeah, pretty good damage coming across here. Gets the backflip, runs away. Definitely gets the damage in on a Fake God.
Now Destiny's coming in, because if you have such pressure bot side, you can send in the support.
Oh yeah, he wants the ulti, because this is going to be a for sure death as they just dive on in. Fake God tries to heal, and he gets the reinforcement, stays alive somehow. And Revenge is going to find Kane flying out for a bit of damage, gets the kill. Acadian saves his top laner's life, and now the rest of the squad is here. Xerxes going to fall. I cannot believe Fake God lived, but the squad is in, and Dignitas get a 2 for 0.
Damn, Revenge went in early, thinking that it was a confirmed kill, that no one from Dignitas' side was going to be there on time. But Acadian comes in at a perfect time, gets the execute on Revenge with his ultimate, and what is he going for? I think it's a red king. Could be wrong.
I think it is.
Yeah.
The scythe is a lot bigger, but I'm not certain. I'm really bad at actually telling them apart, especially with skins.
Yeah.
We'll wait to see. As soon as you can see if he moves during the W, but we got a mid lane fight. Gotta look at that one first. Big stun's gonna land. Insanity guesses a bit wrong, flashes away, and it turns out it's one that was running towards the turret, but still, that is flashed down. That is good damage.
Another game, it's Red Kane.
Yeah, that's Red Kane.
And Acadian is fed on Kane. Feel like this is just a consistent thing with the man, where that topside fight was beautiful, taking a great opportunity on IMT. They had a great advantage topside. They wanted to use that timer on Destiny. Destiny just wasn't a part of the fight. So, I mean, in hindsight, sure, he needed to wait a little bit longer. But, at least the top laner, Camille, went early because he knew the information was available, and Fake God was running away early.
Yep.
If he didn't go then, he was never going to be able to get a chance.
Well, really, really tight stuff. But yeah, the healing was good. Riftmaker was stacked up already and got 2 targets with the ulti, which is a ton of, percent health damage that heals you back for it and, stacks up with Riftmaker. So yeah, just actually drain tank through it. No ignite means no kill. And the healing was pretty valuable in that one. So, okay, Fake God gonna feel nice about the fact that, oh, by the way, he's up 45 CS. Like, he was also ahead in items, right? He was Mythic versus non-Mythic because he was laning better. Like, you got the solo kill, but the man still had more gold than you, and that's the game state that we were in. Revenge still down a level here.
Current game state is great for Dignitas because Silas is now on bot lane wave. LeBlanc was matching. In fact, it looks like that she's heading straight back down there. She shouldn't, because if you're going for Rift Herald, you don't have TP. Silas does. TP advantage there is pretty clear, so Dignitas is going to be far more confident taking a fight around Rift.
They knock down the minions here in the mid lane, right? You're just going to play weak side or just, kind of chilling here in mid, really, Neo. Just with the Triforce, by the way, that is generally stronger than Divine Thunder right now on Ezreal. I like this build. I think it's the better build. So that's going to feel pretty good. Actually, it's just pretty reliable auto attack damage. And considering that there's not a lot of the front line for Immortals, that's going to feel even better in that regard. Second Herald being attacked. I like to name it Kumar. If you get the reference, it's not a hard one. But
I have not watched the movie.
Yeah, but you know the name of it.
But I do know the name.
It's the Herald and Kumar.
Got a lot of kids out there that will not know this reference.
That's okay. It's the name of a movie, Harold and Kumar. They go to White Castle. That's the movie.
You guys have access to Google. Use it.
Yeah. A lot of streaming platforms out there. And now we've got 50 seconds until the Mountain Drake comes up. Immortals have gotten the first 2, and they are well on their way to Mountain Soul. The problem is now Dignitas, who have the gold lead, and we'll see if they can put down, their feet into that bottom river and fight for it.
Yeah, and I think they'll play well and patiently around the fact that they do not have vision. 30 seconds is a long time, as long as they don't walk into their own jungle. That is dark. Put that out there again. Okay, here we go.
Okay, Acadian 1v3 tries to queue out, going to be found out for some CC, pulling back into the squad. He is left alone, and he is going to drop 1 for 0. Yasui splitting on the top side, finds a turret, and now the second kill. It's going to be a trade as Insanity is going to drop. Fake God finds himself the snips and gets that kill picked up. So 1 for 1, but without a jungler, there's no way to fight for the smite. Immortals should claim a pretty easy drag, but first they are going to be fighting. TP coming in to fight the 4v4. Be careful, because this could be a lot. Revenge is going to lose his life. They burn a TP, he's going to take in a free dragon, and now Dignitas are ready to keep on going. Afmu, when does he dive back in? It's going to be raised. It's going to be a stun, a flash to safety, running away with his life. Just barely, and that is Dragon handed back over. Dignitas going to claim that without a jungler.
Yeah, I don't see the reason for that. Well, no Camille ultimate. You're trying to re-engage on a Leona. You know that Silas is waiting for it. It already cleared a wave topside, has TP. This felt like, once again, even if Dignitas does challenge you on Drake, you have the smite advantage with Xerxes being there and having picked off Acadian. So, of course, Acadian getting picked off on Krugs. Understandable. Good catch from IMT. But then, take a step back. A lot of damage being put through from Gwen here.
Yeah.
I want to see how they re-engage.
Insanity chose to go in, by the way. Like, they one-shot Acadian. That is the freest turnaround. Oh, Neo, summoner heal. Rend isn't going to be enough. Sidesteps the K knock-up. A little bit done from Destiny here. They're going to miss the pier. And that is him too far up. Raze gets the shield bow, tries to stay alive. They get the knock-up. And Fate's Call might have claimed that Acadian does not get the knock-up to the right targets. And the shields were there. Raze stays alive. The kill comes across.
Just want to make it clear, 4 members of IMT are ready for that fight. The support, of course, being in the river, while Leona was back at base. So there's no reason you should ever take that fight with just 2 members there, knowing that you were that down in tempo. Dive is possible here. Afromoon knows it.
Afro can't get a whole lot done. I mean, at best, you step up and get a cannon minion. That doesn't seem amazing. And now, suddenly, there are 4. Nice flash gets away from the chain, but you had the chance at getting 90 gold. You lost flash. That one feels a bit of a bad trade, as Neo's now back in the mid lane. It's going to be Immortals finding their second turret kill.
Ooh, real close on that one. But this is just a concern. If you get chipped like that, of course, killed like Acadian, all the advantage that you had is going to wither away.
Yeah.
Because, once again, sure, a lot of DPS comes through from Raze, and they think they can get a turnaround because Acadian's here. But Leona, for sure, is not going to be there on time. Silas is going to be picking up top lane waves, not going to be here. You're not going to have the damage for this one with shield bow being picked up from Raze. You're just not going to be... it's just not going to be possible, so probably overestimated his damage, and that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. True Shot Barrage sadly did not land. If it had, that would have been the kill. Stopwatch buys some time. It means most of the damage, but now he's got to try to run away. Lands his E for a bit of a dash. Going to try to flash away for the biggest part of the slow, and that does let him walk away with his life. Chain's not going to land, and that means he will live. Flash could have secured it. Didn't want to dedicate the resource. Thought it might have landed otherwise. Mid lane now under fire. Herald Trail's going to come in. Just the charge, though, not the entire turret. Still only one on the scoreboard for Dignitas.
Yeah, and up your dig, you know, you could play towards next dragon and just start stacking up for what could be potentially quadruple Mountain Soul. Like, that's just already something that you can say, hey, we are a stronger team fighting team. We can just play pretty slowly and play around that.
Yeah.
We do have, as slight as it may be, a gold advantage. You can just play around Fake God pretty consistently. He's huge at this aspect of the game. So they don't have to do too much. And also, you know, a good example would be they used Rift Trail mid, could have easily just sent it bot lane, and you know you're getting a turret. Generally speaking, side lane turrets are easier to get fully, and then on top of that, Fake God's going to push Revenge out. So there are certain things that they can get better at.
All right, items coming across. We do have Double Divine Thunderer. Hasn't been done for a while. Pretty much everyone had mythics about the same time in this game. It's the exception being Fake God, who had a really big lead in top side, but we're seeing the Zhonya's probably yet again for Xerxes. We've seen the Zhonya's roll by a fair bit. He has decent AP ratios, and honestly, Zhonya's is not a bad tank item, so it kind of fits the build here. We are on the way towards the late Manamune. As you can see, Acadian on his way to, I'm guessing, Sterix into then eventually that one.
Yeah.
Cloth on my inventory, which I don't believe Phage Cloth builds anything, so sitting on that one for a while. Unless I'm missing something, but Manamune going to be done soon for the Ezreal. Wit's End is in for Raze, because he needs to survive Fake God.
I'm expecting at some point it's going to turn into a Bramble. Once he gets his core item of Sterix and Muramana, then sure, a lot of sustain is going to be being thrown out from Raze, and you're probably going to be getting hit the most if I'm looking at both you and Leona. So that's possible.
Decent damage from Insanity. Ooh, that was nice. The Stolen Distortion preemptively dodged, and no trade back. You see we get half, and that's almost lethal range, so he's going to have to back off quite a bit.
IMT, like clockwork, 1 minute, and they're in the enemy red side jungle. So this is what the game is going to be about. They're allowed to get soul, or at least soul point here. Then at that point, they can do whatever they want. They can allow Dignitas to get full vision control around Dragon next time, and then just focus on Baron. So it's imperative that Dignitas can fight for this.
All right. Fake God, Acadian, Aframu on the bottom side of the map, ready to go for this one as the recalls will come through from all the solos, basically. And Neos, okay, someone's in that brush.
Yeah.
Destiny ulted, he's like, oh, if this man face checks me, he's dead. But Neo was like, there's someone in that brush, maybe.
Wow.
Guess correctly, Insanity. Arcane Shift is in time to get away from the chains. Single turret shot not gonna hurt too badly, and we got Dragon coming up in 12 seconds.
Yeah, having no Rakan ultimate, I wonder if they even know that was taken off.
Probably not.
Probably not. But in the end, there's just so much control here. Dignitas is probably not going to want to push into it. No HP on Neo, so it seems like that's going to be the play. Oh, looking like... Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what their objective's going to be here.
Acadian can walk in, though. He's a pretty safe champion on the Kayn. It's going to be a Ren that makes it happen. No Dragon Steel available, and now with the Camille ulti, they're going to bring him back into the squad. Leona's going to land the stun. Revenge got to be careful. Stunned out of the hook shot, and Acadian finds himself the kill. Good timing to prevent him from going anywhere. And though the Dragon is claimed, Dignitas take the kill.
There's so much damage coming out from Fake God, and you know what time it is? I think going straight for Baron and forcing IMT into a bad fight. You're in a stage of this game right now where IMT will, for sure, you know, through long death timers, 20-second left on Revenge. It is possible. It's not likely that they're going to do it, I guess. But it's possible that you can get an ideal fight without Revenge there.
Okay, Fake God. They don't know what brush he's in. Recalling in the middle one, walking out of the middle one. This is actually really nice. He's played the Fog of War really, really well. Once Insanity is no longer line of sight, then leave the second brush, and no follow-through. Well played.
Okay. But now IMT's on sold point. Even after losing Revenge, I think they're in a really damn good position. Sure, you don't have the goal lead, but you can always get you know, a proper spot on the map. Play towards vision towards bot side, like I said, and if Dignitas contest, then you can just pivot up top, and they will have to respond to your Baron pressure.
Okay, maybe cross map's going to happen. Waiting in the brush. Acadian sees Xerxes, and now sees the rest of them. Hook shot's not going to find the stun. Acadian's like, if I get stunned here, if I get ulted, we're not getting over that wall. So has to burn the flash to stay safe. And that is Acadian down an important summoner. That will certainly be down for the Dragon contest in 3.5 minutes. That might mean a lot for the potential of a Dragon Soul. As Dignitas still want to walk forward. This mid turret very, very low.
Yeah.
2 autos kills it.
So Acadian, of course, his name's written out, no flash. It's going to be important for IMT and how they want to play the fight, because at least from the perspective of Raze, he's not going to be able to auto much unless Revenge or Xerxes, mostly Insanity, gets some kind of damage done. a lot of ownership is going to be on Insanity to at least get some poke, like he did on Neo before the Dragon even started. You expect that to be done, at least on Acadian.
Oh, Flash, no, can't be in range in time. He wanted the ulti. He wanted it to, you know, just lock Revenge in the Hextech ultimatum, could not make it happen. So now, that is 2 flashes down in Dignitas.
Yeah, it's going to suck for before the next fight even begins. But I love the idea behind that, knowing that Acadian and Afromu are just going to be there, so you can buy enough time. But let's see. I mean, even if he does get that kill, great. Next Dragon is going to be a game ender, and you don't have Flash for that. So there's a case to be made that even if it's successful and you get the kill on the Wizard's Revenge, that you still will be down a summoner on your carry and Yusui, and you won't have it on Acadian before a pivotal fight.
Titanic Hydra is on the way through for Revenge. That front line durability going to be pretty valuable for the man, as Zhonya's has been completed for Xerxes. So second items we can take note of. We're on a full 3 for Fake God, though. Morello's all the way done. He's going to be the primary Grievous Wounds dealer on the team. You are right about Bramble on Acadian, by the way, but he's across 3 items, right? He's got a Bramble, he's got a Phage, he's got a Tear. None of these go together just yet. There's Sterix, there's the Power Spike. That's going to look good. Zhonya's done for Yusui. 2 items in, all the way for Neo. That's great. Moramana is in.
Oh!
And by the way, no MR on this build, so good luck. LeBlanc is scary.
So close. That gets a heal off of Neo, and that's going to be the constant fear that Neo's going to have walking into IMT's vision. So keep that in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Insanity for sure is aiming for it.
I will say, I do not like Frozen Heart in Ezreal this game. It does nothing against Camille Q.
Yep.
It's nothing against LeBlanc. It is useful against Volibear Auto Hug you. Who cares? You are, I guess, providing minus attack speed for Callista, but I would rather see Hex Drinker. I'd rather see something with flat health on it to survive Camille. I think that is, in this case, the wrong defensive item. It's right in a lot of games. I think not this one.
Yeah, even kind of going across the board and seeing Raze. I mean, I love Wit's End when he's going up against Sylas and Gwen.
Yeah.
So at least proper itemizing there for Raze. Seeing a Baron start up here. Ward's catching a few of them walking into this direction, so IMT for sure are aware.
Yeah, I mean, there was a ward they just killed. Like, they absolutely know that it was no, but they're like, nah, go for it. Try it. You can't get it. LeBlanc's on the wrong side of the map now, going to burn the TP. 6k health, and this could be a mistimed Zenith Blade, and we can't land it from Yusui either. Perfect timing there. You actually stop the distortion. That might become a kill, at least a forced Zhonya's, but mid lane is now controlled by Immortals. They're walking in 2 minions, hoping that's going to be enough. Revenge going to hook shot back. Look for it. Here comes the dive. They found Volibear. Xerxes going to run backwards. Here comes the front line. Knockup's going to find a kill on an Afromu. That works well, and Fake God is low. Insanity can't find it. Fate Skull comes in. Volibear to follow. Are they going to get enough? Double Zhonya's popped. Raze is low. Raze is down. Team fight's going pretty closely, but it's going the way of Immortals so far. They're running out of members on Dignitas. They're just the 2 left alive. Xerxes keeps the health bar up there, and now Acadian is alone. Acadian cannot find a single damn kill. He's going to go down himself. And that is the Bud Light Ace for Immortals.
Wow, man. IMT were so low in HP, even though they had the man advantage off the beginning of the fight. Kited that so damn well. Acadian could not get a single bit of damage on them. This is going to be a great Baron for IMT. Well played.
That is going to be beautiful. So it's going to take a couple of moments. Insanity takes the hard recall to walk down to bottom side. This is not going to be a contestable Baron. Ezreal's alive in a couple seconds. Theoretically, this can be True Shot barraged and stolen. Xerxes holding his smite, though. And Neo gets the cooldown back just now, and it's going to be too late. So Baron is slain, decides not to burn it, but now they play around the dragon. Now, Insanity's got to build the time to make sure they don't lose this chance at Mountain Soul. Jumps away from Afromu, not going to be a problem there. How much time do they buy?
I'm not seeing bases here from IMT, which is great. I mean, they're staggering it because they don't want to give the dragon away from Dignitas. They can take it all.
Kayn is far, that's the important thing. Dignitas know Acadian's still in base, and Immortals kind of know as well, based on the respawn timers. They've sent a couple members back in. We know Insanity bot, we know Destiny did the same, and here we go. Now you got to do it against a Baron buff. Now the goal difference is big, but Dignitas are going to try, steals the Volio, goes in, big charm comes across for Destiny, and True Shot barrage hits on a 2. Fake God's still on the way forward, Zhonya's popped by 1, and they're going to look at Destiny. Fate's called back around. Neo getting a bit low, Camille going to find the backflip, finds the kill. Ray's going to drop though, 3 kills for Dignitas. Baron buff be damned, they're ready to go. And just like this, there's no spite left alive. Immortals are not going to get this dragon. They will claim the Baron. They get the golden XP that is commensurate with that objective, but it will be Dignitas taking a team fight and delaying that Dragon Soul.
And that was clearly a strategic error. Like, Dignitas is fighting, this is their second dragon. They're trying to deny Soul from IMT. IMT had already gotten Baron. You can give up Dragon, you can play around the map, and you can just strangle Dignitas, because this second Dragon does very little for them. But they were confident that they can take the fight regardless, ended up losing it, and now, I mean, that's more gold in the pockets of Dignitas.
It's true, and it means that the Baron buff is basically gone. Obviously, Bud Light Ace, yeah, no power play for you.
Just taking a look at this one, this is pretty sure Aframu going down first, making the engage, but then, yeah, I mean, Dignitas were just in a really bad position. Dragon was coming up, they were on top side, IMT was never going to fight into them, and so they know that they needed to get a fight off or IMT would just get a free soul there.
But yeah, I mean, they just did far, far better, and Cadian couldn't quite get the last bit of damage. I mean, there's a lot of low health bars, right? He gets pretty close to Insanity. Not gonna get it.
It's the worst feeling. Full HP, you know that you can get the kill on a LeBlanc if you just rush her once, but no, you're denied from that. And so this is the fight that I was talking about, where IMT think that they can still contest for this, even with the Baron buff at large. Now they lose it all. Dignitas were there first. They used double TP to get there. So it was pretty much IMT thinking that they can still do it. I mean, they still are in position now after the replay we just saw.
Yeah, but yeah, Fake God and Acadian were pretty much untouchable there. So the Red Bull Baron power play ends early. And just the Bash Brothers up there are doing phenomenally. 50 CS lead on Kayn, which, again, playstyle-wise is what you expect. Volibear is there to be an early-game jungler. Kayn is there to be one of the primary carries. You're expecting CS differences because what they're doing across the map is going to be different. But maybe the corner has turned, as now Acadian's going to find himself a knock-up, Leona to follow, and that is the power of Red Kayn. CC on a 6-second cooldown, lands and Insanity is down.
Yeah, I was about to say, at least IMT still had 2 Barons. They can use it on the main wave mid and on side lane. But now with Insanity down, I mean, Dignitas just pretty much have full control here. It's just a 1k gold lead from Immortals, and it's going to dissipate. Full camp's top side going to be cleared. Acadian has had a great game so far.
Totally agree. Had, you know, a really fun level 1 that turned into an assist and a kill for his mid laner. Has had a good job in the team fights for the most part. He's either the last to die or one of the primary carries, so
yeah.
Has been putting in some good work, and now they get to try again. They stun Revenge on this one, ult and flash, but Leona is here for the chase, nearly gets killed. Afro gonna be on the walk out, Revenge, oh, shot, nearly slayed him. Nice body block by Acadian, make sure Afro was going to walk out with his life.
That was close. The moment Aframu hit with that Zenith Blade, instantly regret it. This game is, you know, if you were to take from the desk, you can use the term Fiesta.
Sure.
But it's a wild one. It's, at least from Dignitas, they rightfully feel like they need to be making plays like these. And it's working out well for them. It's Immortals that are the ones that are making these late game mistakes.
Get a couple of camps. Xerxes gets himself to level 15. That is tied with the Kayn, but again, farm differences certainly are relevant here as well.
Yeah.
And we wait down the timer until the next dragon comes up. I do want to always be a bit of a homer for Baron buff. I think it is weirdly underappreciated. It is a huge surge of gold into XP.
Yes.
Literally just killing the Baron gives you about as much power in like gold to spend on items as getting a Dragon Soul itself. Like, even if you get nothing with it but the kill, it is very powerful in itself. Immortals in a pretty good spot. Again, they have a gold lead right now. We'll see if they can fight for the Dragon Soul in 90 seconds.
And it's a bit of an insurance. Like, you're going to get access to the enemy camps just off that. You're denying the enemy jungler a lot. Same goes with waves if you can play it properly. So a lot can come through from just having Baron itself. See who ends up coming out the better of this.
Jump away for Revenge level 17, but Fake God has maxed out. 3, 2, and 8 here on the Gwen. Wants to go in for some decent damage. Has the reinforce coming in soon. Charm and a knock-up and deletion! Ezreal is not itemized for the mid lane assassin, and LeBlanc just deletes him back to 2010. And now he can keep going. They're half health and after move. Volibear dives on the top as well. 5v4 without a marksman. That seems really easy. They've found 3. They're looking for 4. Gwen's gonna try, but Gwen is outnumbered. A double kill for the Volibear of Xerxes, and Yasui is running for his life. Jumping in now again is Revenge. Wants to find the slow. Not quite gonna get it. But guess what? They're going to get a whole lot more. It's going to take down a whole bunch of the base. Baron's up in 20. Dragon Soul comes right after.
Excellent team fight from IMT. Insanity getting that pop on Neo was huge. And also the ulti from Revenge, negating Leona ultimate, so then it just made it so much easier for the rest of IMT. Just throw in their ultis. Raze gets a 2-man knockup, things like these. But now IMT are on that road towards Baron.
And it's pretty much uncontestable, right? Fake God's dead for 24 seconds. Acadian has to walk all the way there to get a smite. At best, you get a true shot barrage, and that is it. There's no way to send your champions there. The other side of the map, of course, is going to be, well, Mountain Drake is spawning. I still like the Immortals line here. I think you claim the Baron and get that one, and they're going to get this one without much issue. They get the Rend, but we saw last time, they did not get the victory. This time around, they got a couple more reinforcements. Insanity still not going to make this one happen just yet, as now the TP's come back across.
Back at it
Clone,
again.
yes, 25 gold earned, but now, as Rakan is running in from base, this is going to be another Dragon handed back over. They get to use the Baron buff, you can do everything like that, but they still have not gotten this soul.
Yeah, and I beg IMT to just please give it away. They made the decision to go for Baron. If you know that Dignitas are coming fresh from base, fully bought items, full HP, and you know that Destiny's not going to be a part of the fight, at least not going to be healthy for it, and same goes for Insanity for what ended up happening. We didn't get to see it. Then yes, give it away. That's going to be their third Mountain, but look at this. Instant pop from Insanity. And then even seeing the re-engage there from Revenge. Sure, he got knocked up immediately, but then using his ultimate, keep him in place. Great ulti from the Volibear as well. It was a travesty there from Dignitas.
Yep. And the dive is just so good. I think Yusui realized first, like, wait a second, this is unwinnable. I'm just running away. Peace.
Yeah.
I'll save the KDA, and I think actually correctly so. But now we have a 5,500 gold lead, and it's going to grow, by the way, because Immortals, with the Baron buff, are certainly going to find some lanes to attack and some gold to earn as these items come through. So mid lane tier 2 is gone, but top lane being started now by LeBlanc.
Bit of pressure on IMT to make this work, though. If they don't end up like getting a proper playoff this one, this is either, you know, top inhib or something like that, then that's going to be soul there for Dignitas at play with triple Mountain Dragon. So IMT's in a really tough position, and they don't really have a composition that has enough range to just auto it. Oh, like if they're going as a 4-man lineup, that's why they have Revenge pushing on side. That's why they have Insanity looking for, you know, an option at popping somebody. Let's see if he's able to get something.
Well, levels are increasing everywhere. 18 for the top laners, and mid laners 17 apiece. Bot lane actually 3 levels up for Raze because he's gotten just so damn much side lane time. Almost flame horizoning this Ezreal down here. With the siege in top lane.
They know that they need to clear that control ward out because Insanity is just going to abuse it. They're trying their best, but they're really like, their melee elements are going to get bursted if they try this, so.
Yeah, you can see Destiny staying on that side of the map. If you walk up too much, I'll just, you know, jump on you, knock you up, and the Charm's going to probably guarantee your death. So mid lane down incredibly low. Baron buff ending, or has ended, I should say, soon. About 25 seconds to go until that one happens. They're waiting for the next push, though. Neo stepping up pretty aggressively. Wanted to knock this wave down. Akaadian waiting the wings as well. Again, his W can knock up. Revenge still playing around the mid lane wave. Nearly will kill it on this one. Insanity with Distortion and auto attacks can get it in about 2 or 3 autos. As Raze is going to be a bit gun shy going for more. Obviously, not the best escapes on a Callista. Mid lane getting lower and lower. Distortion auto will kill it. Insanity does not go for it. I think WR auto, guarantee the turret, I think would actually be a good play there.
Yeah, honestly, should do it. I feel like this is just a successful defense from Dignitas. They've kept both turrets available, and Baron's off now from the rest of IMT. Dragon's going to be coming up in 2 minutes, and now that really didn't give enough for IMT. Maybe they're going to go off this cannon minion wave.
WR, and out he goes. This is one auto attack. This is definitely killable. But is there a team fight? True Shot Barrage hits 0. Turret finally gone. They got to run away. Revenge does so, but he's down about 1,000 of his health. Couple of cooldowns burned on either side, but it's a pretty safe win. Immortals, now with the gold lead they've held for a while, can look for the inhibitor, but they will not do so. They take the safe route. They know Dragon's in 140. They may reset soon.
Yeah, we need a base here from IMT side. So they're going to get the control wards. It should be a faster push here from Dignitas. They should just go straight through mid. That minion wave is definitely threatening their inhibitor, so that's going to be the call here. But it's going to be all gauntlets being thrown down for Drake. And overall, great from Dignitas to hold the door. Triple Mountain is doing a lot of great, even if their composition is generally pretty squishy outside of Leona, that you're still getting, you know, extra armor from the Zhonyas there, from Fake God. Same could be said from the rest of the team. That's a Thornmail being built up from Akaadian too. So Akaadian and Afro are going to be damn strong in frontliners.
All right, this is going to be the moment coming up soon. We have grown the gold lead to 7,000 on the Immortals side. They have given Dragons, but they have earned the money from playing for that with the Baron, with the turrets killed afterwards. They are by far stronger in this team fight itemization-wise. The question is, does gameplay and composition make up that difference? Right now, Immortals walking down mid, still 35 on Dragon, means you cannot ignore this threat. The wave is pushed in. It's just a cannon. There's a red claimed by Neo safely. So no counter jungling really to be had here, but Immortals are taking over the vision.
Yeah, great call. Otherwise, that's an inhibitor down. And with Dragon being so far off, then you still need to realistically defend your own base.
You would trade Nexus for Dragon Soul, and that is a loss.
That is a loss. So good call here, but now Dignitas are having to get pressure from bot side.
Yeah, no, they don't own mid. It's understandable here. And of course, you're not willing to give up Dragon, so you don't even really care about attempting to look at mid. It's all about this one now. Acadian stepping up. 7,000 gold difference. Dragon Soul on the line. Yasui comes in and chunked to 600 health. That is damage out of Insanity, and Dignitas don't have a mid laner anymore.
I think he's going to try and TP back because he does have that. That means they're going to have to try and delay
for 12 seconds.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
they should rush it. They're going to rush it.
Burn it down. Smite fight. Watch for the Volibear. Watch for the Kayn. As Acadian's coming up. Are they going to get it? Is this a smite? Volibear comes in, and it's grabbed by Kayn, but is it enough now? Can the shield make it happen? Yasui in the front line. Burns the Zonias. He's gone. 1 for 0. Revive comes in for the Guardian Angel. Stopwatch to buy even more time, and Acadian's on the way out. Does not have much of a team anymore. Gets a knockup. Gets to stay alive for a few more moments, but the rest of his team is falling around him, and Neo is the one to die last, but the agents are on the way. A double kill in for Raze, and Immortals get another ace, and they're ready to run it right down mid to end the game.
Soul picked up from Dig, but IMT picks up the game, and that was a huge fight from Insanity. Just playing on the outside, and his team was just tanking up the DPS. He was threatening the backline consistently. Neo didn't really have any targets to hit, and now they're able to pick it up.
Immortals have to make up 3 games and pass Dig in the standings to get an upper bracket spot in playoffs. Game 1, so far so good. A tight one, a pretty long one, but a victory in the end for Immortals.
That one was a doozy. You think back at level 1, you're like, well, Dignitas had a really great start. But since that point, it was the dive that happened from Immortals, the solo kill that happened topside. But Dignitas did a great job realizing that they could still play opposite, trade sides.
Yeah.
And Fake God had a pretty large lead. They just couldn't solidify it with how this game was going, heavily in IMT's bot side favor.
Yeah, well done to them. Immortals, the solo kill top, the big lead in the bottom lane as well. Even with solo kill, it was still a good look for Fake God. He was definitely the stronger top laner at one point, had 2 levels. I think it was like 18 to 16. He was a big deal. But at the end of the day, right, Immortals found the picks better. They found the team fights better. And I want to reinforce, I think every time they had a choice between do we secure Soul or just claim the Baron, I think Baron was right each time. Because, look, if you get Elder Dragon up there and you lose a risky team fight, whoops, they get Elder, they're going to end the game off of you, right?
Yeah.
But Baron is guaranteed gold, guaranteed XP, a power play with the Siege afterwards. You're going to grow that lead. And you saw the last fight, 7,000 gold lead versus Dragon Soul. Yeah, I take 7,000 gold every single time.
And for IMT, I mean, they didn't play it out well with their Barons.
Sure.
But a lot of the times, you were still seeing a significant advantage even after losing that first Dragon fight that when they had Baron.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
They still had, Baron on the Camille and also Baron on mid lane as well, so they can still get a larger and larger lead. I think they made the better choice the second time around.
Yeah.
To just completely forego Dragon, give it away, and then they just had control of the map.
Yep, give them a random stack, no big deal. We'll take them an inhibitor. We can use that to get you out of position, and it works really nicely. So we are going to step away, but on the other side, we're going to be wrapping up the day with the State Farm Analyst Desk, so we'll see you there.
back to the LCS. We're here at the State Farm Analyst Desk. Brace yourselves. We had quite the banger to end the day. Dignitas and Immortals facing off. Immortals coming out victorious. And yeah, we just gave you the full-on experience.
That was the full Monty of LCS if I've ever seen one. I had the highs, I had the lows. That was a, is that a fiesta? I felt like
yeah,
a
we're on the scale.
That was a fiesta, but there was no one on the dance floor, right? That's the kind of fiesta that you stayed because the food was good, but there wasn't that much of it. So you had it, and you're hoping that there's more catering coming out, but then there just really wasn't there. They told you because it was on the menu, but it just never arrived. So you stayed much longer than you wanted. But at the end, you were full and you were satisfied because you got a full belly.
All I'm saying is that those chips and salsa, it was a banger.
They
did slap. I did enjoy that game. Bit messy, gonna call it like that. And also, congratulations to Immortals. They only needed to beat Dignitas. They've now done it. So it was a big win for them, despite the fact that it just kind of squeaked over.
Yeah, they double qualified for playoffs, basically. Yeah, look at that.
I mean, this was the battle to see Immortals or Dignitas, which is more deserving of that top 6 area. But I want to look back at some of those moments, particularly later on in the game, that best exemplified the action.
Okay, so we have 2 team fights that are back-to-back, because I feel like, as we said in the pre-show, none of the early kills really mattered, because it really just came down to the absolute chaos that were these fights. Now, this one looked great for Immortals. This is how the comp really should have worked. You had basically the bounce house castle where everyone was just like continuously suspended up into the air. They get Baron off of this play and then immediately run it down over the dragon.
Twice, Immortals in a position where they get a team fight win and should have done the dragon because Soul was on the line. So instead of doing the dragon, they go for Baron and then they rush back to do the dragon because now Dig is spawning to do it again and then they die and lose the objective twice.
I will say this, I don't disagree with them prioritizing the Baron. I think Freak talked about this on Cast, simply because of like how their comp meets the siege and the fact that it is Mountain Soul. But obviously the issue was that when they got the Baron the first time around, they just kind of sprinted it away.
Yeah. I do think there was an issue with the penultimate dragon that they could have gone for, and they chose to go for Baron when I think there was 15 seconds until Dragon. At that point, pretty much the only way that Dig is going to get a decisive way back into the game is by taking Soul, and they, were approaching Soul Point as well. So I do think that's a scenario where they could have easily taken Mountain Soul and then taken Baron and then been fine, but I agree with you on the first Baron.
But in order to just kind of like button this one up, I think that those 2 team fights really talk about kind of the pros and cons of both those teams, and that the first team fight, it wasn't on the replay, but you can go back and watch it. It actually opens up with a TP where Afro mistimes his Zenith Blade and then doesn't connect, and then suddenly all of your CC is down and you get absolutely wiped. And then the second team fight that Immortals lose, Revenge teleports from like 2 lanes away and has to walk all the way into the fight, and the fight's over by the time it begins. And it's just like those mistakes are too consistent for both of these teams, which is why even though they are kind of sitting in middle of the standings in terms of where they are in the pack, I do feel like they are current form bottom tier teams in the LCS.
Yeah, I think if FlyQuest and Golden Guardians, whichever of those 2 show up in the form they've displayed, they would be stronger than Dig or IMT, I feel.
Well, let's talk about those teams on a holistic level then, right? We only have about 1.5 weeks left in the regular seasons before we hit playoffs. So who are the top teams when it comes to the standings that you think are really showing out in their strength and consistency?
I mean, oh, sorry, Kaizen, you go.
Oh, no, well, I was going to say, in terms of number 1, it's hard to make an argument against EG, right? Like, they're 11 of 12. And they've, the way they beat TSM today was actually not the way that you typically expect from EG. You expect them to get a huge early game lead. You expect them to snowball the game from there. But this is actually a relatively even game where they showed that a lot of the issues that they demonstrated earlier with, problems late game and just like sort of losing a focus on what their win conditions are, they shored up. So I think EG right now is the team to beat. I think by the time playoffs comes around, I do think we're going to see Cloud9 at full strength. And I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But right now, I think EG has looked the most consistent. They look like the team that understands their play style the best. And I think their laning phase is really, really clean as well.
I'm actually I don't know if I believe in Cloud9 returning to form. I think right now, I agree with Evil Geniuses. I think very highly of TSM. We've had this conversation. We can hash it out again. And then TL would kind of be my 3 picks.
Oh, now I don't even get involved on this one.
Yeah. So the reason why that I've kind of like now flopped on TL, because I also wasn't super high on them. I was like, I really like TSM and EG, and then it's kind of a toss-up for me either way. But for TL, the individual power of all of their pieces, I just think in this league, when you have so many games that are decided by someone missing a Zenith Blade or someone mistiming a teleport, that simply having that brawn of just being able to press your buttons correctly can go so far. And then when TL are in form, you do get to see they're almost kind of like the better TSM in the sense of that play style of playing kind of the more reserved play style.
And that's the question, though. Will they arrive in form? Because they currently right. So these are the teams that need to change the way they are right now in order to compete. Cloud9, the Team Liquids. I do actually think that TSM showed to be more resilient than I thought they would be. Right? Now, I don't feel like they're such a good team because they're making so many mistakes individually that just have Spica carry them. And they are fairly one-dimensional when it comes to the mid lane pool. That really has not changed. And so I do find that that ends up being something that is so easy to draft against in a best of series. So that's why I don't feel so comfortable with TSM, since it did backfire in spring where they still had this one identity and the meta did not fit it.
Well, with all of that considered, though, I do want to get your thoughts on where 100 Thieves fall among that for you. How do you classify them as a team, and how much do you index into the hype around them and some of their top performances?
Where's my single? Is it
It's right there. It's that one.
Papa, I'm so sorry. I know we just went out to dinner. It was delicious. I enjoyed your company. But I have to tell you this. Your team individually is very good. Abadage at making those decisions where he gets to decide how to create pressure and then he can snowball off of it. But that's the thing. 100 Thieves, when they win off of winning skirmishes or individual plays, and then that's how they move the chains. Their macro, it's not that strong. They throw away tempo. They are not as effective on the map as they could be against a top team. And that's why I'm not a believer in 100 Thieves. I think the meta covered them up, that you guys had a good read on it to begin with. Credit to the coaching staff. But now that everyone's figured out the meta, you're really starting to see the cracks in 100 Thieves because they just weren't as good because the top tier teams were playing worse. Still a good team, not the best team.
That is an interesting take, really noting that the macro might be where some of those cracks are. Do you feel that those cracks are pretty pronounced?
Yeah.
Sorry, just to really clarify on some of the language before you go in. It's a efficiency thing. When they have tempo, when they are given control, like they win a play, not all of the pieces are set up. Not all of the lanes are pushed forward. Not all of the teammates are ready to go onto the objective. So the leads that they get are smaller than other teams who, when they win a skirmish, when they win a team fight, the waves are also pushed in, the wards are there, the cooldowns are ready, and it just snowballs so much faster. And it's because the individuals aren't all on the same page in terms of how they're thinking about creating pressure. ABBA is great, not all of the players are on the same page.
What I will say is, let's cast our minds back to Game 5, Spring Finals, Cloud9, cooked up a strat in the lab with the Tristana Scion to win the game. So that's where I think 100 Thieves need to go back to the lab again, come up with a composition, with a new read on the meta that you can bring into playoffs that can allow you to have that same advantage you used before. If that was a strength, double down on it, show up to playoffs with a new strategy, and ride that all the way to the finals to prove that they are now one of our top teams.
Yeah, so I'm not off the 100 Thieves train completely. I still put them top 3. I don't have the number 1 anymore. In many ways, it reminded me of TL from last split, where TL was consistently getting advantages early game, but mid game their macro was not sufficient to be able to efficiently convert their leads into decisive wins. The good news is, I think the problems that 100 Thieves has right now are resolvable problems in the 2 weeks that we have remaining. If they didn't have the player just like raw muscle, right, to be able to compete with other teams, I would be much more concerned. And I think earlier in the split, it wasn't just their meta read, it was their ability to snowball really, really decisively off of their leads that it allowed them to convert really, really frequently. So I'm not super concerned about 100 Thieves. I don't consider them a favorite for first place anymore, but I also would say, yeah, I think they're a top 3 team.
Karma's in was really good. It was really good. Okay? That carried a lot of teams.
3 games. There's been a lot more games like that.
The bar cannot be that like their players are, and I know I just gave this credit to like TL. Like when you go internationally, because that's what we're talking about now. If you get to be top 3 in LCS in summer, you get to go to Worlds. The bar internationally cannot be that you are mechanically good enough. That is that's what's expected of you. That's not a plus there. And I think that that's a big factor for 100 Thieves. I really like today in their game, and you guys can go back and watch it, talking to the viewers at home, where I think it comes to a dragon play, and 100 Thieves are pushing 2 members top, and they completely opt out of the Drake play, and I'm just like, yes, this shows me that 100 Thieves are a smart team. They realized that they couldn't fight on the items that they currently had. They get, I think, 4 waves top, 2 towers, and immediately Abba backs as LeBlanc and gets 2 items. You now have a 2-item LeBlanc that's ahead of Clark because you funneled that gold in rather than going for the stats of the dragon, and then he immediately just starts hunting for a pick. He's just fishing, and I'm like, that shows me that 100 Thieves are a good team. But you're still reliant on Abba having to do that, and so if he's ever on a champion that doesn't have that, what's the word I'm looking for, like agency, to do that, then I think that's when 100 Thieves really slow down.
You know what I didn't like about that, though, is that it took too long to play around the LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the LeBlanc...
Because the whole team's not on the right page.
You got to get roams. You got to get people burning flashes to make it work. And it just wasn't there. They still lost to Cloud9 because she wasn't accelerated enough.
Well, whether you believe 100 Thieves still has a grasp of that #1 spot or not, we are continuing our race for the playoff placing in general. Our first game tomorrow has Golden Guardians looking to take a win off of TSM and keep climbing in our standings. Some interesting matches. What is jumping out to you?
When you say it like that, that tells me everything. You're like, there's some very interesting matches.
There could be some confetti tomorrow, for sure. Even just the first
Golden
game.
Guardians TSM is a banger.
That first one, that's what I'm looking at, because the Golden Guardians pick up the slack from the loss today against CLG, which should have been a dub. They could continue to upset a lot of the top teams, and TSM would be one of them.
Evil Geniuses versus Immortals is Andre versus Peter, so we're going back to the LEC there. You got the brand new FlyQuest squad that loves to fight versus Cloud9, who also love to fight, so that should be explosive.
It's a rematch. They beat him the first time.
And we have the continuation of a CLG Miracle run.
Well, that's...
apropos.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and we've had some weeks recently that have been complete upsets, where all of our predictions have been shot to the ground. None of us were looking good in that case. Do you think maybe here in week 9, when the fire's getting hot, we could be facing some of those scenarios?
I don't think. I hope.
Yeah. We live for it here on the LCS. That's going to do it for us, though. On behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire remote broadcast crew and live broadcast crew, we have been live for quite some time now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more LCS. Until then, good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.